Hey, what's going on YouTube family? This is your man Pristine back with another video. Welcome to the full Pristine review for the Bold N1. Let's dive right in. Now, the price for the Bold N1 is a cool $250, which is full retail. But if you order this phone from Bold's website, which I will drop a link in the description, you will get a $50 instant rebate, making this phone $199.99. And that offer is still, to my knowledge, is still going on to this day. So you definitely do not want to miss out on an offer like that if the Bold N1 is something that you are interested in. Now, the price that we are housing for your $250 or $200, whichever price you end up paying, you are getting a 6.4 inch 1080p by 2340 full HD plus AMOLED display. All right, it is an IPS LCD display. It's a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. It's a 92% screen to body ratio. PPI pixel density of 403. We've got Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and the back. We've got sand-blasted metal and curved glass. And so the phone, it feels really good in the hand. We've got a MediaTek Helio P70 processor, which is clocked at 2.1 gigahertz with 64-bit AI technology. It's an octa-core CPU. We've got a Mali G72 MP3 GPU. We do have an SD card slot for memory expansion, 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of onboard storage, and we are running Android 9 Pie fresh out of the box. Now, as far as performance, like I mentioned, we've got a MediaTek Helio P70, and I believe that is their newest, most latest processor. And it's a very capable, snappy, powerful processor chip. Okay, as you can see, my Google Now, as it's loading up, just breezes right through that. I mean, you see that the phone is very, very responsive to the touch. Okay. No lag or no stuttering at all whatsoever. I mean, so if I swipe fast, it changes pages fast. Okay, if I swipe slow, then things kind of slow down a little bit. So I just show you guys that just to show you how responsive to the touch that the screen is. Okay, now I've got this connected to my Wi-Fi. I currently do not have my SIM card in it, and so be mindful that 4G LTE data speeds are going to differ. This is a GSM unlocked device, and so you can use this with AT&T, T-Mobile, Cricket Wireless, Metro PCS, Simple Mobile, Mint Mobile, any other GSM network that you can find. This phone will not work with CDMA carriers with the likes of Sprint, Verizon, Boost Mobile, Virgin Mobile, US Cellular, any other CDMA carrier that you can find. Okay, but just popping into my Bible app here really quickly. And like I said, I mean, data speeds are going to differ with your SIM card. I mean, this is just connected to my Wi-Fi. So, you know, with the 4G LTE connection, it may be a little faster. It could be a little slower, or it just could be right around the same time. But I mean, I love this AMOLED panel. I mean, just the blacks, I mean, they just pop right at you. And yeah, the color accuracy in this display is just beautiful. Okay, but you saw how it just popped right into Spotify there. We're going to SoundCloud, and I'm just going into some really content-heavy applications right now. Normally, these applications take a little bit of time just to load up because it's so much data and information that it has to load up. But you see how quickly and conveniently the phone is getting to those sites with absolutely no problems at all whatsoever. Okay, not sure what it did right there. That's interesting because it never did that before. But yeah. So just popping into a few applications just to kind of test out the performance, just to see how snappy this processor is. And I gotta say, it's a very, very snappy processor. It's very impressive. I haven't had any lag or any stuff. I've noticed an occasional stutter here and there, but you know what? The times that I've only noticed that stutter, like it kind of stutters like there when you're scrolling, has only been like when information is loading. But once the information loads up, then you see it's very fast, very fluid. And most of the time, I only notice it, like, say, like on my Google Now app, like when I'm scrolling information. And as I scroll, the more information it loads. And so I just noticed that sometimes it can be just a tad bit choppy as it's loading. But aside from that, once everything is all the content is all loaded up, then you see as you're swiping, then it's just buttery smooth, and it breezes through everything very, very swiftly. Okay, so the RAM management, as you can see, will pop back into Spotify. Okay, interesting. It had to reload Spotify. Now, when I've had my SIM card in here and I was playing around with the RAM management, it didn't have to reload. So I'm not sure if that's something, that's due to my Wi-Fi connection or what, but we'll pop back into SoundCloud. Same thing with SoundCloud. Interesting. And it's not taking that long, but I mean, these are still applications that are open, but for whatever reason, it's having to reload them, which takes a little bit more time as opposed to just boom, they're just there. You know what I mean? And like I said, I just noticed that. Pop back into the Play Store. Okay, so that's there. Okay, let's go back into YouTube, and even YouTube had to reload for whatever reason. It's very interesting to me. Don't really know what to say about that because, like I said, it doesn't do that when I've got my SIM card in the phone and I'm running off of my 4G LTE connection through T-Mobile. But for whatever reason, the phone is having to reload a lot of these applications that are supposedly open while it's connected to my Wi-Fi. So we'll pop back into the Bible app. Even the Bible app, it has to reload it a little bit. And again, I mean, it doesn't take much time to do, but I've never seen it do that before. So it just kind of caught me by surprise there. But if we want to go ahead and erase everything, you just hit the little button there. Again, it's Android 9 Pie, fresh out of the box. And so, you swipe down, that's going to get you to all of your quick toggles and notifications. Notifications more so, as you can see here, I've got tons of them. And you can, when you swipe down from anywhere in the screen, it's going to bring down the notification shade. And then if you swipe down again, it's going to get you to all of your quick toggles. Okay, a quick swipe up, this is going to take you to all of your applications that are on the device. You see that is very, very snappy, very responsive to the touch while I'm doing that. And so, yeah, no lag or stuttering at all whatsoever when it comes to navigating this device. Like I said, just with the exception of, while things are loading, but I've seen a lot of phones do that. So I'm not even sure, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's just subject to, the bold M1. I've seen a lot of phones that have more powerful specs than this phone has do those kind of things. And so it's very interesting. Not sure why it's doing it now, but it is. But like I said, when my SIM card is in here, when I'm running off of my 4G LTE connection through T-Mobile, I've never seen it do that before. The RAM management is on point. Normally applications that are open in the background while you're scrolling through your recents, you tap on them and boom, they pop right back up on the screen without having to reload. That's just been my experience. Okay, so I gotta say that the performance is solid on this phone. It's definitely gonna do what you need it to do in a timely fashion. You're not gonna have to wait very long for apps and things to load up. You can multitask very easily on this device with no problems. All right, now the cameras, we have on the front, we have a motorized 13 megapixel pop-up sensor. And you can see how the camera just popped up right there. And, just looking at the viewfinder, I mean, the color accuracy and the sharpness and the detail is really on point. Okay, now go ahead and close that. And on the rear of the device, we have a dual camera setup. On the rear, we've got a 16 megapixel primary sensor and a 5 megapixel depth information camera. We do not have a telephoto lens here on this phone. And I gotta say that the camera performance to me is pretty stellar. Okay, now I've listened, I've looked at a couple of different reviews and people had some not so good things to say about the camera. But again, you got to take that stuff with a grain of salt. The best way to test something out is to actually get it in your hands for yourself, because what somebody else may consider to be a garbage camera, which are the terms that they use when they describe this camera, to somebody else it may be a good camera. And my personal experience with this phone is the camera is solid. I mean, it's definitely going to be more than suitable for the average consumer. As a tech reviewer, I mean, we really, and tech reviewers in general, we scrutinize things on phones and we kind of micromanage and just talk about every little minute thing about the phone, because it's our jobs to do these things, just to provide a lot of this information to you guys. But the average consumer, they're not scrutinizing camera apps the way that we do as reviewers. A lot of these people, they just want to go into the camera app and they want to point and shoot. They want to record. They want to know, okay, what type of screen resolution that they can change to, or whether or not they can record in 4K. And if they do have that ability, they may take advantage of that. But most people are just point and shoot. You know what I mean? They don't really get into all the details and the logistics and the features and functions about a lot of these camera apps. Now, some people do. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that are like that, but I'm just saying for the average consumer, this camera app is very feature rich. And the overall camera and video quality, to me, in my opinion, is on point. And I think that anybody who gets their hands on this phone will be pretty impressed with it, unless you got a defective unit. Okay, and there is a dedicated camera video that I've done. The link for that is in the description. So if you haven't seen that already, make sure you go down in the description box and click on that link so you can check that out. I'd also like to know your thoughts and opinions on what you think about the camera performance and the video performance for the Bold N1 here. Now, battery life, we have a 3,500 milliamp hour battery. I've had no problems getting through a full day through this phone, or with this phone, with no problems, and still had change left over for the next day. And depending on how you use your device, you possibly can go, 2 days on one charge. I mean, the battery life is that good. Again, we got the MediaTek Helio P70 processor, which is a very, very battery efficient chip. It's going to help you save battery life. It's very efficient when it comes to helping battery sustainability. Now, of course, that's going to differ based on how you use your device. A lot of you people that, really go hard on your phones, you're going to absorb more battery life, and you're going to need to charge your device more consistently. But no need to fear with that, because for one, this device is Qi enabled, and so we do have the ability to wireless charge the phone, and we do have a Type-C port rather than a micro USB that also supports fast charging, and there is an 18-watt wall adapter that comes in the box for you to fast charge your device. And so for me, charging from 0 to 100 from this, for this phone was about 1 hour and 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So that's not bad at all. There are a lot of devices out there that charge faster, but I mean, I can't say that this is like a complete drop off from a lot of those devices. We've seen devices charge up from 0 to 100 in about 45, 50 minutes. An hour, 20 minutes, that's not bad at all. That's a very little amount of time, so, but then also with the fast charge, if you don't have, time to sit there and fully charge your device, just even if you put it on a charger for, 15, 20 minutes, you're going to get a significant amount of charge to help get you through. Okay. So I got to say, battery life on this device is good. It's solid. Again, I think it's going to work well enough for the average consumer to definitely get you through a full day's worth of usage. All right, now, so for additional features with the Bold N1, and for me, I mean, because this offering is more of a stock Android experience, and I've said this in several videos, to me, stock Android is kind of boring, but I think that there's some very exciting things about this device, just cosmetically. I mean, just for one, for $250, or if you get it at the Bold website, only $200, you're getting the full display, 6.4 inches. The phone is very thin in the hand. I mean, it feels really good. You see that it's curved around the edges. I mean, so it's very comfortable to hold. I know that that's not necessarily a feature. That has more to do with the build quality. But just, the full screen design, AMOLED display. I mean, who would think that on a $200 device that it would have a display that was more vibrant than what we find on the iPhone, even though this is the iPhone 11. You know what I mean? And just for dramatic effect, I mean, I made sure that I downloaded the same wallpaper just so that you guys can see that. My iPhone here, its brightness level is at 35 or 40%, if not a little more. The Bold N1 here is at 20%. And you can see how much brighter and how much more vibrant the colors are on it than it is on the actual iPhone 11. And I'm not trying to blast the iPhone 11, but that's just the actual factual. You know what I mean? And so, just the screen brightness, I'm not exactly sure what it tops out at as far as the amount of nits, but this phone gets really bright. I mean, when you take this phone out of the box and you turn it on for the first time, it's damn near blinding. So one of the first things that you're going to do is you're going to turn down the brightness, because it's going to, it may bother your eyes a little bit. The phone is hella bright. It's hella bright. You see what I'm saying? And I've like turned it all the way down, to 20%, and that is more than suitable for me. Now, just zoom in a little bit, just so we can get a little closer to the device. Now, some of the additional features that I like, I love the customizations. I love how we have the ability to change the app icons, and how you do that is you just long press on the screen and you go to home screen settings, and then you got change icon shape, and you can go use system default, square, squircle, which squircle is like a square and circle mixed, a circle, or a teardrop. And so, I got the square, which is why all of my applications are kind of squared off like that. And I'll go ahead and zoom in on that so you guys can take a closer look at that. But just like little customizations like that, just being able to personalize your device to really, really make it your own. I'm a huge fan of that. Okay, so little customizations and stuff like that. We do have a dark mode. We do have, I believe we have an FM radio on the device. We do have a headphone jack right there, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that still like to plug in, Bold, they kept you guys in mind. They didn't just want to completely do away with the headphone jack, understanding that there's a lot of people out there that still rock with wired headphones. The pop-up, the motorized pop-up selfie camera, very future-proof, very 2019-ish. You know what I mean? For, a $200 price tag. I mean, that is very, very nice, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and another thing I want to mention is another one of the features that I like is, if the phone is sitting on a flat surface, all you got to do is lift it up. The phone wakes up, you feel a little vibration. Okay, we've got an under the display fingerprint sensor, which you just tap on it. It works 100% of the time. And I've grown to love the haptic engine on this phone. At first when I don't know. I mean, at first it kind of felt kind of quirky. You can tweak it. I think the more that the vibration intensity is turned up, the more it feels kind of meh. You know what I mean? But if you turn it down a little bit, you can kind of, I guess that's the reason why it gives you the ability to tweak the vibration motor, because you can set it to where you want it, to where it's comfortable for you. And once you do that, then, to me, the haptic engine is fine. I know that somebody asked me about that after I did the unboxing. And I think I told them at the time that, the haptic engine, it's not that great, so I just turned it off. And a lot of times for phones where the haptic engine is trash, I'll just turn it off and I don't deal with it. But for phones that give you the ability to kind of customize and tweak the haptic motor to where you can maybe intensify it or less intensify it a little bit to kind of get it to how you like it, then it's a little bit more satisfying. And that's what I was able to do on the Bold N1. And so now, the haptic engine for me, is solid. Call quality on this phone, even though we don't have dual stereo speakers or anything like that, we do have an earpiece right here at the top of the device, but we don't have stereo speakers, which isn't a problem. You just got a normal bottom firing speaker right there, which, at first go around when I listened to these speakers, I was like, they just sound average. It's loud enough. You're definitely going to be able to hear your notifications and your ringtones and stuff like that. But then when you go under sound settings, on the bottom here, you got sound enhancement, and you can turn on best loudness, and that really does make a difference in how things sound. I mean, things are a little bit more clear, sound is a little bit more punchy, you know what I mean? And so when you turn that on, then it definitely pays dividends to the sound, you know what I mean? Especially when you plug in and you're listening to headphones. Now, unfortunately, we don't have Dolby Atmos or anything like that, where we can just really take the sound to another level and really customize it the way we want to. But that little sound enhancement right there is a nice gesture, and it is a compliment to being able to adjust your sound a little bit. All right, so aside from that, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else about the device. Now, under the settings menu, I also like how when you go to about the device, I'm a big fan of how a lot of the stuff that it thinks that you should know, and obviously these are a lot of the things that Bold is highlighting. Right when you go into the settings at about device, it's right here at the top. And so, a lot of the key features about this phone, which are some of the main selling points, they're right there for you. You don't have to go skimming through the settings for them to try to find these things. And I'm a huge, huge fan of that, because it makes it so simple to get to some of the main things that you're going to want to know and love about this device. And so Bold, they give you the meat of what this phone is about right there in your face without you having to search for it. So to me, that is very user friendly. I'm a huge fan of that, as opposed to having to dig through a lot of the settings. And some things are not easy to find in the settings. Some of the things and features and functions are buried deep within the bowels of the device. And, I know where to look for these things, so it's not a problem, but a lot of people don't. And I know I can understand that can be, very frustrating for a lot of people. A lot of people are walking around with devices thinking that there's a certain functionality that they want, but they think that their device doesn't have it, when in actuality it does. just because they are completely unaware on where to find it in the phone. And so stuff like this just makes it very simple to find what you're looking for. And I love the fact that Blue just really simplifies that for us. Okay, and so these are definitely some of the things that are being highlighted as some of the key features for this device. And I like the fact that they put them right there for you. I mean, the under the display fingerprint sensor, the portrait mode in the camera, the 96 megapixel super zoom. As I mentioned, I mean, this camera app is fully loaded. Okay, there's a lot of things to play with in that camera app. We've got the AI intelligence technology, new navigation mode, pop-up selfie camera. I mean, again, these are all highlights of this device. And so rather than having to sift through the settings, they're all right there. And if you want to learn more about them, you can just click on them. There's a tutorial waiting for you right there. And just like that, you're going to be able to utilize that feature on your phone. And so I really, really, really like that, how Blue just really simplifies that for us. To me, it really simplifies the overall user experience. You know what I mean? And I'm a big fan of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are just some of the key features that I love about the Bold N1. There are a lot more. You know what I mean? My overall final thoughts on the device, I think that this is a really, really, really a great device at a very compelling price point. This price point is very hard to overlook. I mean, we are in that time where, you know, phone companies are doing new innovative things with the front-facing cameras to really give us this full screen display layout. And so, you know, to be able to find this on at a $200 price tag, most phones that are offering this are much more expensive. You know what I mean? And so just the fact that you at the most are going to pay $250 for this if you're not able to take advantage of the rebate, that is still a great price for what this phone is offering. And so my final thoughts and just overall impressions of this phone, I think that it's a really good, it's a solid phone. I mean, I think that anybody would be impressed with it. Okay. It's an all-around solid phone at a great price. It has good snappy performance. It has very solid, decent performing cameras that, you know, for the average consumer, you know, the camera quality and the video quality is going to be more than suitable for you. Okay, if it was not, I would tell you. Okay, but I was very surprised with the camera quality. Not saying that I thought that it was going to be horrible, but it over exceeded my expectations. I've had tons of Blue phones before, and they had some really good camera quality. So I wasn't going into it thinking that the camera was going to be suspect, but it just over exceeded what I thought it was going to be. And I thought that it was going to be a good experience, and it just turned out to be a little bit better of an experience than what I thought it was going to be. So you got solid cameras, solid video performance, and just an overall solid device at a very, very, very compelling, affordable price tag. Very hard to overlook. I can recommend this phone to anybody. Okay, and down below in the description is where you'll find the link if you are interested in buying this phone from either Amazon or the Bold website. I would recommend getting it from the Bold website itself because that's where you're going to take advantage of that $50 rebate, which will enable you to get this phone for a cool $199.99. $200 plus taxes. You're going to pay like $215 or something out the door, and 2-day shipping. You know what I mean? I mean, so the Bold website, I mean, it follows the same protocol as Amazon Prime. You know what I mean? Free 2-day shipping. You'll have your phone in a couple of days and you'll be good to go. And if you were thinking about spending $1,000 on your pocket, just pay the $215, get yourself a Bold N1, and you got yourself $800 to play with, to save or go cop something else. You know what I mean? This is another clear-cut example that you don't need to spend $1,000 for a phone to get a good quality smartphone. And that's all I'm going to say about it. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in to the full Pristine review for the Bold N1. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of more videos that I've done like this one. And keep it locked at Pristine Mobile Tech because I've got so much more videos to come. Hit that notifications bell so that every time my videos go live, you'll get that notification that I uploaded something and you can be one of the first to check it out. And once you do that, get down in the comment section and let me know what you think about what you saw. Hit me with any questions, comments, or feedback. The comment section is where I'll be posted up answering questions or responding to comments, feedback, constructive criticism, whatever. Let's keep it clean in the comment section. You already know if you're talking greasy, I'm going to delete you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to delete you and keep it going because there's a lot of nonsense talk going on in these comments, man. A lot of you guys have no idea some of the things that these people say behind these computers. You know what I mean? And I know that it comes with the territory. I just refuse to let it steal my joy and interfere with my happiness and what I got going on. So I just delete you guys. I delete all you little, you little trolls and things. And so you're not ruffling my feathers. It's not serious enough to warrant a response. You know what I'm saying? I don't get into chitter chatter back and forth with folks. You know, I respect everybody's opinion. And like I said, I have very thick skin, so you're not going to hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? But it's like, if you got some constructive criticism, I am more than happy to discuss anything that you saw on any of my videos. But we just got to keep it respectful. You know what I mean? So, man, much love to all of my subscribers. And hey, you already know. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me to talk about the Bold in One. I hope that this was informative enough for you, you know, to where if this is something that you're thinking about committing, that you can go ahead and pull the trigger and start to enjoy your new Bold in One. All right. So hey, thanks again for rocking with me. And you already know, please stay safe, get spiritually fit, keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. I will catch all of you in the next video. Peace.